and we'd love to invite our guest now. Father Gregory Pine is a Dominican priest, author, and speaker, as well as the co-host of the Catholic Classics podcast. And through this series, listeners are guided through some of the most influential Catholic works in the Catholic tradition. His latest season explores the practice of the presence of God, helping modern audiences encounter the wisdom of Brother Lawrence in an accessible and practical way. We have the book with us as well. And Father Gregory, thank you for joining us. Welcome to This Is the Day.
My joy. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Well, we'd love to hear from you. For those who might not be familiar with your podcast, can you tell us about the format of it and what listeners can expect to hear from each episode?
Sure. It's not unlike the format of Bible in a Year or Catechism in a Year. So it's just a section of reading from The Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection. And then we follow with some discussion, helping listeners to understand the contents of each passage. And I do that with my sister. Her name's Rebecca Doherty, and she has 5 kids with a 6th on the way. So it's, we bring to bear our different experiences of the Christian life in conversation with Brother Lawrence.
We have the book here. It's a beautiful book. How is Catholic Classics translation different from others?
So the Catholic Classics translations have all been done by Professor Matthew Minard, who has a kind of sensitivity to the depth of each of these spiritual works and the theological tradition from which they are taken. Kind of not plucked out so much as set within, but also with an eye to a 21st century reader's sensitivities when it comes to like lots of subordinated clauses or technical vocabulary. Okay. So they are readable and faithful. That's the basic idea.
Nice.
That's wonderful. And despite it being written in the 17th century, it seems to resonate with people today. Why do you think it remains so relevant, and how can people apply it to their everyday lives?
I think the big thing is that Christian life, while often difficult, need not be overly complicated. There are things in life that are hard, but the Lord makes himself available to us in a way that we can begin to understand and can begin to put in practice. And that seems to be the emphasis of the practice of the presence of God. So, he himself tried more complicated methods or techniques of prayer, and he found them all to be burdensome and impracticable. So his real insight is that God's present to us. It's just for us to be present to him. And you can basically use anything throughout the course of your day as a little handle to lay hold of his presence, because he makes himself available in just such a fashion. So the thing about it is that it's simple, not in that it's simplistic or that he's talking down to you, but in that it's not overly complicated, as a reflection of the fact that Christian life need not be overly complicated.
And I remember Pope Leo talking about this being a very important in his spiritual life too, on a plane trip back from one of his trips. Talk about the podcast as well, as you led listeners through this classic work. Was there a particular moment that maybe stood out to you personally?
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it with my sister. You know how we all have like primary and secondary goals in our different tasks. Like your primary goal might be to host a great TV show. Your secondary goal might be to try out different kinds of fun ties. In this particular thing, it was like a primary goal was to set the text forward so that people can profit from Brother Lawrence's wisdom. But like the secondary goal was to tell as many stories as we could about my dad, which, we had a lot of fun because we just have spent a lot of time together.
That's wonderful. And what do you hope that listeners will take from the podcast?
Yeah, I think the book has a real power for nourishing hope. I think sometimes people get discouraged because they don't see progress in their life, or, the kind of soaring truths of the faith don't always seem to apply to them in their concrete circumstances. And I think the book does a beautiful job of encouraging people, of kind of nourishing the hope that burns within their breasts to help them to live the difficult but not necessarily complicated Christian life.
And we want to let people know too where they can listen actually about the Catholic Classics edition of the Practice of the Presence of God. And I also wanted to ask you too, you got more classics coming up?
Yeah, so Ascension is queued up. The next is Interior Castle by Saint Teresa of
Great,
Avila.
great, yeah.
So folks, I mean, like the podcast is available wherever podcasts are found. But folks can kind of go back in the archives too. There have been seasons on the Introduction to the Devout Life, the Confessions of St. Augustine, Imitation of Christ. There's one that was a collection of early monastic writings, and then Practice of the Presence of God, and then Interior Castle, and then Story of a Soul as well. So there's a nice little archive of it. It functions like audiobooks with commentary in effect. So, yep.
That's great.
That's wonderful. And where can readers also get the book directly?
Yeah, they can get it from ascensionpress.com, or they can get it from other outlets through which books are sold, Amazon being the biggest. Yeah, so new translation, a little introduction by Pope Leo, not written expressly for the Ascension edition, but which he allowed other publishers to pick up and include in their version. So it's one of the first things that we have from him, just kind of as Pope, which is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thanks you so much for joining us today, Father Pine. We appreciate your time, and we encourage, well, I was going to say viewers, but, well, they can watch it and listen. But it's a podcast.
They can, yeah. There's a video version on YouTube, so
there you go.
they can see my sister and me sitting in a beautifully lit studio. I saw the lighting when I walked in. I was like, this is incredible.
That's awesome.
That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
God bless.